Alright guys, we're back here again. Now I want to go over manual, semi, and auto, what the benefits are, what the issues are, and what kind of playstyle you want to use depending on the kind of player you are. Okay, so first off we're going to start off with manual. I've been doing this fight here just to kind of test a few things out, alright? So first off, you guys can see here everyone died, low HP. We're going to do the next battle and I'm going to show you guys what the issue with manual is. So I can tell you right now, Aerith did not do one cast of actual healing at all through the entire manual process. Okay, she just stood there and casted her spells that did the most amount of damage in terms of weakness. She stood there and did saving grace to give us a buff, but even when all of us were at low health, she did not cast not one healing spell to save her life or our life, to be honest, matter of fact. So that's kind of the issue with manual. Now with manual, you have complete control of your characters, but it does obviously come with a heavy burden. Number one, the healers won't heal unless you switch to them and do the healing yourself. All right, they will do all the proper casts in order to get you the most amount of damage in terms of weaknesses. Now watch what will happen, right? I'm putting this on slow. You guys can see they're casting Blizzard because again, it does actually do some sort of damage. Now you yourself as a character have to actually control Cloud completely. There's no actual help on the NPC's behalf to you, right? It's just you and the character. You guys can see here I'm losing HP, nothing is being cast to heal anything, all right? So manual, again, complete immersion. Also when people do specials, keep in mind in manual, every single character here will not change their stance. It doesn't matter how close to death you are, when how quickly the boss is about to do a special, you're never gonna get a actual stance change unless you do it yourself. There's one good thing is you can keep your bar full for a full DPS, right? And the NPC has a really bad habit of switching back and forth sometimes. On the other hand, you have complete full control of also your healing by going back and forth between the two sets. See, look, she hasn't healed once even. Look at my HP right now. I'm just showing you guys how this works. The bad side is obviously is that you have to do it for all three characters. So having to swap to all three characters in order to do this is rough. So look, you can go to Aerith right now, quickly switch, do a Kiraga, and switch back, right? You have to do all of that for every single character you plan to use in this battle. So manual is built for players who want complete control and want to immerse themselves into the combat system. Most people will not like the way manual works because it's way too much effort, all right? So keep that in mind. The NPCs, your characters will in fact do the proper moves if you set up the right materials for them, but they will not heal. They'll barely ever support, and they will not switch stances on your behalf. You have to do all of that by yourself. Now, let's check out semi-auto, okay? Now, what semi-auto allows you to do is control one character for the most part in terms of all the skills you perform. The only thing it'll do for you, though, is switch the stances so you guys have a better overall survivability because, let's be real, auto does do a good job switching all three stances for you when it's time. Sometimes it's a little off, but semi actually does a way better job because you have full control of the one character you want to use skill wise, so you're not doing anything silly like doing the wrong moves during like sigil breaks and stuff, but also lets you skip the other two characters. So let's go ahead and put semi. I'm going to switch to my healer because I find the healer is to be the most unresponsive of the three. These guys will do their skills properly. You'll see everyone does their skills. Now watch this bar build up, right? Now as the healer here, the beauty is, again with semi, you have complete control over all your skills. She's not doing anything unless I make her do something here, right? So I could cast, let's say, Saving Grace, and we're good to go. Like she's not casting unnecessary spells right now that could jeopardize the team. But these guys, on the other hand, are in fact still performing their job and doing the proper materia moves as well as performing the stance changes whenever necessary. So it's, again, very important to note that semi, I think, has the most intuitive system, but you do, and I highly recommend this, you should control your healer because the healer makes the biggest mistakes. The biggest problem with the healer in this game when you're running a semi or an auto build is the healer will not cast a heal until I believe you're close to 40 to 30% HP left. Now this obviously causes very big problems because when you're fighting a boss and they're about to do a big move, and let's say you only have 60% HP left, while on auto, it'll wait until you have less HP and then it'll cast the healing spell. While with semi, It's completely up to you in terms of when you cast and where you cast it. So semi for sure is going to be the best method in terms of getting the most out of your healers and supports, because you have complete control over what happens and when it happens. Okay, so that's a key thing to note about semi and why I think it's the best one. But it also limits you to play smarter, making you really think about playing the healer more than the DPS, because again, the DPS does a really good job in controlling the entire battle and doing the proper moves. It's just you as a healer really suck on auto. So I'm going to show you guys auto after this one, and we'll see why it's good for certain players, especially when you have cleared content in the past and you're overpowered. Auto is magnificent. It does everything it's supposed to do for you because you're overpowered and you can simply farm things without being at your computer or your phone for the battle, right? So there you go. So semi for sure is the most controlled environment for the one character. Just the one character though. You can of course swap to any character you want, and then the other one will be taken over by the NPC. But again, I think it's the best version of the system in the game, hands down. And now we're gonna set up auto. Okay, so we need to just set up the sigils here, and I'll show you guys the issues and the good things about auto. Let the NPC do its thing. Just let them handle business and see how they do in comparison. Now, you're gonna see some struggles here, because when you are playing auto and you all of a sudden as an emergency know something's coming up and you wanna press like a heal, well, sometimes what'll end up happening with auto is they'll actually do it like pull a move off on your behalf, and you won't be able to do it at all, right? So this is kind of the discrepancy with auto, and the issues with auto is the fact that when you're like, you need the oh shit button because you know something big is happening and the NPC is not smart enough to see it or understand it, you may lose your ATB bar, right? Because it's busy casting a fire spell or like a ruin blow or like an arrow spell or whatever the case may be, right? And all you're trying to do is spam your heal, but it's too late. So that's kind of the downfall. Now watch the healer. Like, the healer's intuitive enough now to know that, okay, so I've taken enough damage, I'm at the 50% mark. She's most likely, Aerith is most likely gonna wait till that fills up, and she's probably gonna heal. Right, there you go. So in that regard, it wasn't bad. It was actually really good. Now watch what will happen if this person gets their bar close. Watch our switch. Well, we should be switching. Oh yeah, never mind, I killed him. So you would have seen right there, auto would have automatically switched to the defensive stance for that special in order to kind of save you. None of these, I'm going to say this right now, none of these will cast limit breaks or summons on your behalf. You have to actually be there to click that. If you're not, you're going to miss out on all of your limit breaks, okay? So understand that. Now, see, I don't have to do anything, right? But I do want to switch to Aerith for a second. Now watch what will happen. Let's just say I do want to cast a cure, which is, well, let's see, auto, she's not even doing what's going on. Oh, there's a special. I think they switched over anyways. Okay, so 48 HP, she's 100% gonna cast here. Okay, so that's fine because the HP was so low, right? I'm probably gonna die here with red. So she's gonna cast it again here, right? So there you go, there's a cast. So again, it's smart enough to understand, okay, like the unit has really low HP. She's gonna try it again right now. Everyone automatically switched to defense stance. And I think you guys get the point, right? Here she knows, again, low HP, right? So we got to cast a heal. Auto will instantly cast a heal here because knowing how little, again, limit breaks are up, you got to cast those yourself and you're good to go. So that's what I'm talking about. So twice there, if the NPC was smart, it would have cast Saving Grace during those jumps. And Saving Grace would have given everybody Protect and probably would have kept a few folks from losing that much HP, right? Protect being physical defense up and also magic defense up. In this case, I guess that's not Protect anymore. That's just, I think that's called Wall. I think it's Wall in Final Fantasy, if I recall, because Shell is only magic defense up. So yeah, I mean, like, auto again is good if you can overpower the team, if you're close enough to the CP, if you know that you have the proper materia set up and you're not worried about using limit breaks at all, and you just want to walk away and just come back and everything's done for you. So auto is decent, but it's not 100%. You're not 100% in control of your one character, right? And that's the thing to note. So guys, if you plan to play this, understand your playstyle. If you're a whale, auto is your best friend. You're gonna just destroy everything. You're gonna rush through it all with auto, and you don't even have to be there to look at it. It's gonna do most of the work for you. If you are a dolphin to a free-to-play, semi, even a whale, to be honest, with harder content, semi is going to be your best friend. Let the two other DPS do the work for you. use your support and your healer and dominate doing that. And then lastly, of course, there's manual, which are for those people who really want to immerse themselves into the game and control all 3 characters. But remember, stances are all on to you. It's a lot more difficult, and that's actually not that intuitive. I keep using the word intuitive for a reason, because switching between 3 characters is really tough, especially when you have to do stances. And when you're switching it on your own, because you're going so fast between 3 characters, you could also lose some of your stance bar, which makes you heal less, take more damage, and also if you go back to attack stance, it's going to make you do less damage overall, because you got to let that triangle build back up. All right, guys, this is Pain. I hope this kind of was insightful to you guys. Again, semi, however you want to say it, is probably the best form of gameplay here. For whales, auto, you're fine. I mean, for most people, auto, if you're doing lower content of farming, is fine as well. And the manual, I think, is really good, but it's also one of the more difficult ones to play. Only because the support doesn't really do much. You got to control everything outside of doing the proper weakness materia damage on your own. Alright guys, this is Pain. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'll talk to you guys in the next one.